Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a little continuation on, what we did last week with transitions. This is Guinness and I wanted to show you, don't mind the dogs, they're playing. Trust me, you'll hear growling, that's just, yeah, they're playing. But Guinness here sometimes, and not all the time, and we have this happen in a lot of horses, when they do the transition, they'll take their head and flip it up and then go forward. What we want to do, what I want to show you is ways to help, or they hop. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that. When you go up into gait, they may gait, but they do this little like hop. Well, that's them going over top of their shoulders. They're not really using their rear end, they're just kind of pole vaulting over their shoulders. So one thing you want to do, and I'll try to show you on Guinness, he's kind of tired, he's had a long week. The reason you guys haven't had videos updated on him is he's been out on the trail and working up and down some hills to kind of try to strengthen his hind end. So he's a little bit tired, but we'll kind of work with that as we're working. But I want to work on that hop or that pole vault over. There's a couple of reasons. One, they're not using their hind legs, and that's what I'm going to show you today is how to kind of help them use that hind end and then go up. Because when a horse goes up into gait, like if you imagine this is his head, I want him to telescope forward. Because that will bring the nose down into a vertical position because he's rounding his back. What a lot of horses do when they hop is they throw the ears backwards. Well, when they throw their ears back, that hollows the back out, and then they have to kind of reposition themselves. I just want it to be a nice continuation and flexibility and a flexion throughout the whole back. So what we're going to do, I'm going to describe to you first, and then we're going to hop on, and I'll try to voice over when I'm riding, but I want to tell you now what we're going to do. What I'm going to do is kind of do like a mini turn on the forehand before I transition up. What I want the horse's hind legs to do is I want him to step under and then push. So what I'll have a lot of people do when I'm like giving a lesson is almost think of you're doing it in a square. Now I can't do that here, you guys can't see it, but what I'll have them do is in a square, do your transitions in the square. At every corner of the square, instead of just turning your horse, ask them to do a step of turn on the forehand and then go on. Now, quick description of how your aids for your turn on the forehand are. My inside hand turns over, that asks for flexibility in the pole. My shoulder comes back, my inside calf comes on. The inside calf talks to that hind leg. That tells the horse to step under. Remember, it's from your core. It all happens from here. They'll step under and then I'll ask for the transition up. And I'm always thinking forward with this. Again, if you need more descriptions on some of the aids that we're doing, we do have a set of DVDs. It's at either my website at gaitedhorsemanship.com or Larry White's at gaitedhorsemanship.com. But hopefully they'll give you a little bit of a description of how so you can practice. Turn on the forehand, and I want you that to go into the transition. Because what that does, that foot comes underneath and they can push. And so that pole will hopefully go forward. That's what we're trying to do. If they still pop up, they still pop up. I can't force their head down. And I don't want to force their head down because then they'll put them on their shoulders. Anytime that rein comes back, it puts them on their shoulders. So I want to set their body up so that pole can go forward. More naturally, more up and through the spine instead of trying to do it from the head. Because that will just increase the amount of what a lot of people run into is pace or trot because the horse is in this position now. So I'm going to hop on him and I'll try describing it to you. Again, I'm going to try to edit it, and as I'm riding, I'll try to voice over. Don't know if it's going to happen, so I'm going to try to yell. I think you'll hear the dogs probably more than me, but I'll try to yell out the commands what I'm also doing and describing it. But I'm just going to hop on the mounting block and I'll be right back. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show what turn on the forehand is going to be first. So, inside hand turns over, bring my hand out and around slightly. This is a little much for, I have to bring it out to show you guys, but, for him, he needs it a little more out, and my calf comes out. You can see the hind legs stepping underneath. And as I do it, you can see his head getting lower and lower. I don't want it on the ground like Western Pleasure Horse, but I do want him, you can see his ears are just telescoping a little bit more I'm talking too. But that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to show you what, he's tired and I have worked him, but I want you to show you, when he transitions up, he does a slight head come up. When the head comes up, he hollows his back. See there, the head goes up. Not a lot. I've had a lot worse. But his head still comes up. I want those ears to go forward. So over here, small step of turn on the forehand, and then ask him to go forward. There, the head goes down. I'm going to come a little more to camera. You can see the head's much further down. And more telescoping, riding forward to a walk. I'm going to go over here. Small turn on the forehand, arms up, shoulders back. And up we go, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And there, the head doesn't pop up that time. It's a smoother transition. Even though he's tired, he transitions up. Now, I can tell you right now, I can feel his back working. And that's really what I want to feel, is that back starting to work. That's what's going to give you guys some gait and control over the horse's body. When they lift that back, that feels good. When I sit light, it feels good. When they start to telescope that head and neck, that's what's going to bring that back up. And you're going to start to get some action from the hind end. That's what collection is. What collection is what's happening from behind. And like him, he's got a really weak right hind leg. So even what I'm doing right here, you can see I'm kind of stroking his hind leg. One, because we're almost done with our work. Hey, but I kind of stroke it so that way he realizes what he's doing. I want him to start to recognize his hind legs. And that's just, what we're working on with him. Just getting him to recognize his hind legs a little bit more. And you can see when we stop now, he's starting to get more underneath himself. He has all this activity with the dogs, and now the snow's finally coming off the roof. I want him to start to focus. So by combining this with our transitions, it's helping him lengthen his neck. So hopefully we can get him working those hind legs. So I hope this helps you guys out. Another kind of work on transitions to help for gait. Thanks, guys. Stay warm. Don't get the camera.